your AirPods have probably gotten a bunch of new features. So they're mainly for the second generation AirPod Pro 2s, which were released in 2022 and then re-released in 2023 as AirPod Pros 2.5. We're going to call them just for the sake of this video. They still are called AirPod Pro 2s with the USB-C case. So, first of all, there's a feature that is on all new AirPods, and that is the ability to mute or unmute a phone call. So, similar to that of the AirPods that have the touch capacitive stem, so the third generation AirPods, the AirPod Pro first or second generation, or the AirPod Maxes, have the ability to mute and unmute the call. So you're able to press on the stem or the digital crown on AirPod Maxes to mute the phone call, and then press it again to unmute it, and then double press to hang up. So I think adding this feature has definitely made life a lot easier, because if your phone's in your pocket somewhere out of reach and you're on your AirPods because it is hands-free, the ability to just click and press and now you're muted, and then press again and unmute, is really amazing. Now you do also have to make sure your AirPods are updated to 6A300 or later. At the time of filming, 6A300 is the most up-to-date firmware for all the AirPods. And another feature for all the AirPods are the better automatic switching. So according to Apple, this update with iOS 17, macOS Sonoma, and watchOS 10, and tvOS 17 makes your AirPods switching faster and more reliable, as I am someone who will be on my MacBook while I'm on my iPhone, and sometimes I'll be watching a video on my Mac, and then I'll be on my iPhone, open social media or something, and then my AirPods will try to kick over to my iPhone when my audio is still playing on my Mac, and I don't want that. Now my Mac has been able to realize, hey, I'm playing a video, don't kick over to the iPhone unless I tell you to. And it'll pop up in the dynamic island or by your notch and say, do you want to pull over? And then you can just click on it and pull it over to your iPhone. Or you can pull it over to the other device, which I think is really nice, and it's so cool that they're still making improvements to this feature. They're making it more reliable and faster, because I can't tell you the amount of times I've used this and it hasn't been that great. Now, AirPod Pro's second generation specific features are adaptive audio. So this is a new audio mode that was given to the AirPods. So before that we had off, which was just when you would wear, similar to that of over-ear headphones, and how you can kind of hear around you, but you couldn't. Transparency mode, which lets in all of the audio around you. And then noise cancellation, which would remove almost all the sounds around you. Now, adaptive audio kind of takes transparency mode and noise cancellation and puts them together. So it blends, as Apple says, it dynamically blends transparency mode and active noise cancellation together based on the conditions of the user's environment to deliver the best experience in the moment. And now, personally, this is a great addition, because I can't tell you the amount of times when I'm out and about and there are a lot really loud sounds, and I'll have transparency mode on because I'm out and about, and then there's a really loud sound like a construction truck or something else, and it's just you can tell it's damaging your ears because you could just tell how loud it is. Now, adaptive audio will realize that, hey, there's this really loud sound coming by, let's tune it down so we don't hurt our ears. And that's exactly what it does. So if you have a vacuum on, it'll tune out the vacuum, but allow you to still hear everything else, which is pretty cool. Now, personally, I wish we kind of had a noise cancellation mode with all of this, but that's the whole purpose of noise cancellation. Now, we also got a new feature called conversation awareness. Now, this is something that basically, as I just said before, when I want a noise cancellation mode with these adaptive audio, it basically does that. So adaptive audio, you hear everything around you. Now, noise cancellation, you don't. And one of the issues with using AirPods Pros that have noise cancellation, as someone who has used them since the first AirPod Pros came out in 2018, I believe. Now, whenever someone would talk to you, you could just take it out of your ear, pause your music, or if you had AirPod Pros, you would switch to transparency mode so you can hear the person. Now, if someone grabs your attention and you start talking, the audio will essentially lower the volume and switch into transparency mode only temporarily. So if we are having a conversation and I'm trying to get your attention and you have noise cancellation on and I say, hey, you're not going to be able to hear me. But if you start talking, it'll be able to adjust. So if I have my AirPod Pros in and noise cancellation, I'm not going to be able to hear anything unless I start talking. So I'm assuming it uses some kind of sensors. We don't really know how it works, but it uses the sensors in your head, in the AirPods, while in your ears, as well as I'm assuming the motions of your jaw moving, it is all connected to detect that I am talking and that, hey, let me hear myself talking because I'm talking. So it'll then switch into transparency mode, as I said before, and allow you to be able to hear the other person as well as maybe whatever else. And then when the conversation stops, a few seconds afterwards, it'll switch back in to whatever audio mode you had before. So if you have noise cancellation on, it'll go right back into that with your music playing full volume. Now, there's also personalized volume, which kind of builds off of these other features we have been talking about. And as Apple says, it understands environmental conditions and listening preferences over time to automatically fine-tune the media experience. So this will allow it to use machine learning to kind of learn the environment you're in and see what might be a better thing to boost. Maybe boost up your bass and lower down the treble because of the environment you're in, which I think is going to be really cool. And I haven't personally experienced it yet that I know of. Maybe I have. And it's kind of nice that everyone's volume will be different, as I know there are some songs I really have to crank the volume up because I can barely hear, and then there are others that it's like, this is so loud at the current volume that I have to lower it. But overall, we got a bunch of new AirPod features. We got 2 for everyone, and then some AirPod Pro 2 specific features, as they rely on the H2 chip, which is in the AirPod Pro 2s. Now, we did also get the AirPod Pro 2.5s, as I said earlier, or the ones with USB-C. Now, I really like the ones... Now, Apple kind of announcing these was kind of a shock to everyone because we knew they were going to come out with USB-C, but we weren't expecting them to dynamically change as they did. So they still have the same design, the same case as AirPod Pro 2s, but they get the new USB-C port because of the EU, as well as the support for lossless audio when using a Vision Pro. Now, if you're not going to use a Vision Pro, there's really no reason for you to upgrade. But personally, I do think it would have been nice to kind of have the option to upgrade to that USB-C case, kind of like how they did with the wireless charging case a few years ago when they released the wireless charging AirPod Pros. When they released the second generation AirPods 2, or second generation AirPods with wireless charging. But overall, I've absolutely loved my AirPods second generation, and now that we're getting all these new features with them, they're getting even better. And even my AirPod Maxes and other AirPods that I still use to this day, adding all these kind of quality of life features years later is such a great thing to see. But let me know with a comment down below what your favorite feature is, because if you haven't tried them out yet, I think you gotta try them out. But I want you to remember, today's a good day to make a great day, and I'll talk to you in the next one. Peace.